The gentleman from Virginia, Mr. Forbes, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Secretary, thank you for being here. And I think we all know that there are two issues here. One is whether the substance of what's being done is appropriate, and the second one is that, at least up to a short period of time ago, many of us felt we were still a nation of laws, and we want to make sure that we do what we do in a legal manner. I know it's always dangerous to put too much credence in the words that our elected officials say, but I want to come back to something the Chairman said earlier, because this is what the President said. He said, with respect to the notion that I can just suspend deportation through executive order, that's just not the case, because there are laws on the books that Congress has passed. Went on. Said there are enough laws on the books by Congress that are very clear in terms of how we have to enforce our immigration system, that for me, through simply an executive order to ignore those mandates, would not conform with my appropriate role as President. That he said on March 28, 2011. Now, my first question for you, so that we can understand, to your knowledge, were there any laws that changed between March 28, 2011 and today that would change what the President said?
No.
Do you feel that the President was inaccurate at what he stated on March 28, 2011?
Well, I think, Representative, I think it's important to understand what actually occurred here.
No. I'm just asking what the President stated on March 28, 2011 regarding an executive order. Was he correct in that statement?
Would the gentleman yield?
I will when I finish my time.
As a general matter, yes.
So as a general matter, he was correct. No laws have changed since that time. Now, I noticed that you said that the memorandum that you issued was not an executive order per se. I don't know. I'm just harking back to my old law school days, and kind of the Bible that we had was Black's Law Dictionary. And I look at executive order and the definition there, and it says an order issued by or on behalf of the President regarding a constitutional provision, law, or treaty. Was this memorandum that you issued on behalf of the President or under the authority of the President?
It was under my authority as the Secretary, setting the priorities for the enforcement of the nation's immigration laws in an effort to deal not only with these compelling cases, but the continued effort to clear the backlog to deal with the more serious.
Is it your opinion, Madam Secretary, that the authority that you issued this under as your authority has greater authority than the President of the United States?
I think, as Representative Lofgren has put in the record, there is a lot of authority going far back about the ability of a prosecutor to set priorities.
That's not my question, though, in all due respect, and I appreciate prosecutorial discretion when prosecutors are able to do that on a case-by-case basis. My question is a very simple one. Do you feel that you have greater authority than the President of the United States on this matter?
Well, this is a case-by-case determination. This is a case-by-case determination designed very carefully to be seated clearly within prosecutorial discretion precedents. It is not an
Madam
executive
Secretary,
order.
the President announced this policy from the Rose Garden. And I know you're saying that this was issued by you, but it was the President that announced the policy as President of the United States. Black's Law Dictionary says very clearly, if an order is issued by or on behalf of the President regarding a constitutional provision, law, or treaty. Are you saying this was issued without, not in conjunction with the President of the United States? You didn't have consultation with him about issuing this?
This decision came from the Department of Homeland Security. The President obviously approved of the decision, which is what he announced at the Rose Garden. But the decision had already been announced that morning by myself.
But the President announced the policy. The President is the one who appointed you. Is that not correct?
That's true.
And you take your authority directly from the President and the appointment he made. Is that not correct?
And the Constitution and laws of the United States. That's true.
And you hold a constitutionally directed office. Can you tell me what part of Article 2 endows your authority? Where do you
I would go to Section 3, which is the obligation to carry out the laws faithfully, to execute the laws.
And once again, it is, as I understand it, the President of the United States you don't dispute the fact that he was correct when he said he didn't have authority as President of the United States to issue an order to do what you have now issued as Secretary of Homeland Security, but you feel that you have that authority and that capability to do.
We are well seated in the law. That's correct, Representative.
And again, you concede that the President did not have the authority to issue the order that you issued, correct?
That's not what I said. I said an executive order from the President was not involved.
But the President didn't have authority to, it could not have issued an executive order according to what you said and what the President said, correct?
Could he have waved a magic wand and by huge category just said everybody is home free? No. Can a prosecutor's office say on a case-by-case basis, we're going to defer action on this
Could he
category?
have issued an executive order to do what you did?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Forbes. The gentlewoman from California, Ms.